G'day again. Welcome back to Dad vs. Son and our playthrough of Panzer Grenadier, and we're doing our chronological Pacific War campaign. We're currently playing through the first scenario of Alaska's War, Alaska's Warriors, which occurred on 9th of June 1942. And just to bring it into that chronological sort of thing, I've actually on the last video, I've put the date on it so that you can follow through on the date in future like that. So last turn, the 9:45 turn, the Americans put some hurt on the Japanese forces, reducing the machine gun and the infantry platoon, and wiping out the other infantry platoon. So the Japanese are down 4 steps at the moment, which has reduced their initiative from 5 to 4. The Americans have lost 1 step of the sergeant's infantry infantry platoon. They were all dug in, but the commander here just wailed on them. So they're all demoralized and not doing too well. The lieutenant with his Alaska scouts moved back to here and dug in for the time being. And that's where we are up to now. I just want to check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So these guys are no longer spotted. So that's fine. These guys are spotted now. So all of these are spotted in this area here. We've already done the cruiser guns for the 1000 turn, and it dropped in down here. So they've straddled the village of Attu, and I think what we may have to do, because I don't think we can dig in their village. No, we can't dig in. So what we might have to do is actually move the captain and his company out, maybe bring them forward 1 and then dig them in. So we'll just have to see how it goes this time. So let's get into it. The 1000 turn, initiative first. Again, Americans first. They're on a 2. Plus 6 is good, is 8. And Japanese are on 4. Plus 3 is 7. 6 plus 2, yeah. So difference of 1. Halved is a half, rounded up is 1 activation for the Americans. So I think the first thing we need to do is to try and get these blokes back on their feet. So we're going to try and do a recovery on these guys. So it'll be the sergeant first. He's an 8, but he's demoralized, which is a 7. So he needs a 6 or less. Oh! And that is a major foul, and he is gone. Ouch. So we can get rid of that. We can get rid of that. We can get rid of that. And we can get rid of dug in. Yeah, that's a D. And he is sent to the graveyard. Which is another step loss for the Americans, which is going to make it awfully hard for these guys. Okay, so the full strength unit is a 7, a 6, so 5 or less, and he gets it. So he is now disrupted, but the reduced unit is a 6, a 5, so a 4 or less for him. Oh, he gets it too. So that was a very good outcome for them. Okay. It's just that they're leaderless now. Right, so we're up to a Japanese activation, their first activation now. I think we're going to bring a World of Hurt onto these guys again. I think that's the best thing to do. So I'm going to activate these guys. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually make the commander a move, and he is going to actually move first, and he's going to move back to here, just to get him out of the firing line. So he's done. And then we're going to fire back. Do we want to do it into here? No. We're going to, oh, they're 3 hexes away. What do we got? 14, which would be the 11. That'd be down to the 7. I don't think there's anything else, is there? So do I want to go there, or do I want to go here and try and knock these guys out? Yeah, so they're dug in, so it'd be down 2. Yeah, that's not be down to a 4. The other thing I could do is actually get these guys to move forward into here. They could take opportunity fire from the excuse me, from the lieutenant. Can't be blocked from firing there. I think we might actually do it. So we're going to put a move onto these guys and try and bring them forward. So the first is this guy here, who's going to move up to here, this infantry platoon of the Special Naval Landing Force. And these guys could opportunity fire. They're going not to. They are not going to opportunity fire. Dum, dum, dum. No. So the next ones we're going to move up is the ensign with the other infantry. I'll move up to there. Let's mark this activated. He's done. And now they are going to opportunity fire. So they've got 12, 13, which is 11 column. And I don't think there's anything else in it because they're on the track. Nothing affects it. It's not 3 hexes away. It's opportunity fire, so it's +1 onto the 16, and that's it. Yes. So on the 16, a 5 is an M1. Okay, so the ensign is a 9, so he needs an 8 or less. Gets it. And the infantry platoon is a 9, so again an 8 or less, and gets it. So these two have successfully done it. And now the lieutenant with the machine gun will move forward. They come up, and the lieutenant here does his opportunity fire again. 13. Mark them now as activated. That's their second. So again, we're on the 11. We go up to the 16 because of opportunity fire and roll up for a 9, which is a morale check. So the lieutenant is a 9 or less, just makes it, and the machine gun's the same, 9 or less, and they're fine as well. So they are done. Let's move the lieutenant out. And that is that. Right. So it is now the Americans' turn. What do they want to do? And I think what we will do is, like I said, it's their third activation. We're going to move the captain and his people forward. There's nothing that can touch them, so I'm just going to move them all together. And they're just going to come into here like that. And they've activated. So that is that. That's just so I can dig them in, which I think is, oh, hang on a tick. Let's do it properly. So we'll move the machine gun first. It moves over. Excuse me. So what we've got to do is our mired roll. 3 or less. Nope, he's fine. Next guy goes in. He's fine. Last platoon goes in. He's fine. And the captain goes in. And he's fine. So they all made it fine. Sorry. Like that. And that is that. Okay, second activation for the Japanese is going to be the lieutenant here, who's going to lieutenant. No, we're just going to do this guy here and try and get him to recover. So he's reduced, which is an 8. He's demoralized is a 7, so he needs a 6 or less. Gets it. And is done. And he is activated. That's their second activation. Right, back to the Americans. Do they want to do anything? There's only the scouts up here, the Alaska Scouts. I think we'll leave them as they are for the time being. So that goes back to the Japanese. This is their third activation. And I think what we will do is, just going to move that out of the way, is we'll activate the lieutenant here to move all his people forward. Nobody can shoot or do anything else. We're just going to go straight. Oh, is that a good idea? Is that a good idea? I say to me. No, it's not. No, they're not going to. Oh, stop being a talk. They're not going to. They're going to pass. I don't want to move them up in here in case these guys come under fire next time and have to start diddly bopping backwards. We'll just hold them there for the time being. I suppose I could move these guys up a little bit. I think that's fine. So we'll actually activate these guys to move, and they'll simply move to here. I'll do their roll and see what happens. So the lieutenant, 3 or less, no, he's fine. And the reduced unit is fine as well. They weren't mired, so they're done. So again, the Americans pass, Japanese pass, and that's the end of that turn for 1000. Excuse me, for 1000. So we can clear the markers, and that is that. Right. So 10-15 turn. So again, comes down to initiative. Come on, get up there. The Americans have still only lost 2 steps. If we look at the graveyard, they've lost the sergeant here, and they've lost a reduced unit, or they've had a unit reduced, and the Japanese have lost that unit. So, initiative-wise, Americans 2 plus 5 is 7. Japan 4 plus 5 is 9 to 7. So it's going to be 1 activation for the Japanese. But we do have a event. Now let's roll up and see what that says first. We get a 6. Misunderstood orders. Roll 1 die. On a result of 1 to 3, this will become a Japanese event. On a result of 4 to 6, becomes an American event. Okay. 1. It's a Japanese event. Orders are misunderstood and a platoon goes astray. The opposing player selects 3 enemy units, numbering them 1 through 3, and rolls 1 die. Okay. Let's pull that out of the way. 3 enemy units, and we'll pick this machine gun is 1, this one is 2, this one is 3. Okay, and we roll 1 die. It's a 5. So it's the 3rd unit. The selected unit, which is going to be this unit, is immediately moved by the enemy player. This does not count as an activation for either side, although the unit is activated for the turn. A unit that is dug in or in any entrenchment may not be selected. Okay, so this unit, we are going to just pull him out. We're going to put him there. Like that. And he is marked as activated. But that's not their activation. Okay, so that's just cut down on their firepower straight up, which is fantastic for the Americans. Okay, so the Japanese are going to assault in. Is that really what they want to do? They're both disrupted, so they would defend with half. So that'd be a 3, 4, 5 against a 10. So, 2 to 1 odds. It's pretty good. Now they're dug in. Do they get first fire for that? I can't remember. I think they do. What am I doing? First fire. Assault combat must be resolved immediately when active units enter a context. Resolve the assault after all active units. All units of both sides present. 1243 is what I... Okay. When conducting an assault against dug-in or entrenched units defending fire first? Yes. Good. Okay. I thought it was, but I just wanted to make sure. Righto. So these guys are going to assault into here. So we get first fire. So let's bring up the assault map. This will be 1. I'll put it in there. These are the defending units. Bring them. Oh, just bring them over. Right. And we'll bring these units over, and then I'll bring it all over so you can see. Okay, so this is what we've got, and we are in assault combat. So we have first fire. So the defending with half strength because they're disrupted. So we have the 3 and a 1.5. It's 4.5. Rounded up is 5. So we're on the 5 column. Now modifiers: -2 defending units occupying town. Entrenchment, no, no, no. -1 against defending units occupying woods, no, no, no. +1, all units of attacking side have higher morale, no. We don't have a leader, so that's not going to help us. Not all demoralized, no, no. Side includes undemoralized engineer, blah, blah, blah. No, 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 no. No, so it's just going to be on the 5 column for these little fellas. So we roll her up, we get a 7, which is going to be absolutely nothing. So they're done. Righto. So these guys are now attacking. So they have 6 and 4 is 10, which is the 9 column. They have higher morale. So they go up 1. They have an undemoralized friendly leader, so they go up another. And they're Japanese, so they go up another. Now, Duggan does not have help with this. So they're on the 24 column, the 10, which is a loss. Righto. So it's going to have to be this guy because he is the highest morale. So he goes down, and then we have to do an M2 for these. Now, these are normal troops, reduced, so that's a 6. So they want 6 or less. -2 is 4 or less. Oh! So he becomes demoralized. And next one, 4 or less, he's fine. Okay, so that was good, but we've had another step loss for the Americans. They're up to the 3 step losses, so their initiative is down to 1 now. And these guys are done. Right. Oh. What do we want to do? Now we're going to have to do a shot on him. A recover on him. So we'll probably end up trying to do recovers. So that's going to bounce backwards and forwards on how we go. So there's at least 1 activation in there. I think what we want to do first up is activate the lieutenant here to shoot down onto this guy who's out in the middle of nowhere with nobody to help him. So I'm just going to pull this out of the way. We'll do the first for the Americans, and they are going to fire. They've got 12, 13 on direct fire, which is the 11. It's within 2 hexes, so there's no problems there. This guy's in the Muskeg, which is a +1, which takes it to 16, and that is it. Yeah, so we're on the 16 column. An 8 is a morale check. Right, so this guy is a 9 or less. Oh, and he fails and is disrupted. These guys have activated. Right, we're up to the Japanese now. So these guys can't do anything. These guys can't do anything. Now, I could bring the lieutenant in and reinforce the assault. Because we've only got 2 units in there. Now, that would mean that this guy would be a 2, this guy would be a 1, so they would be a 3. They would get first fire again because they haven't activated. And that's good. I think we might. We might. So we'll do that first. We are going to assault into assault hex 1. So let's bring those guys over. Got it like that. Okay, so first fire, like I said, this is half, this is a quarter, so we've got half is 1.5. Excuse me. And a quarter of 3. Yeah, forget about it. So I think realistically they'll be firing on 2. I don't think they'll get the 3 because that's less than 1, and that's 1.5. No, to just bring it up. So it's going to be 3, I believe. So they're on the 3 column. And they get a 6, which does nothing. So this guy now fires. He's on the 3 as well. And that's it. He's got a... his morale is better. So he goes up 1. He has an undemoralized leader. He goes up 1. And he is Japanese. So they're on 13. Yeah, that's it. We get a 5 on the 13, which is an M2. Righto. So this guy is done. This guy is done. And we have an M2. Righto. Reduced unit is a 6. Demoralized is a 5. And M2 would be a 4-3. 3 or less. No. So he is demoralized and then he is disrupted. So nothing happens. If he was demoralized, then demoralized. But he's only 2, not 3 out. So I don't believe anything happens to him. I don't believe. No. And then we've got this guy who's a 6, so that's going to be a 4 or less. And he gets a 7, which means he is disrupted and then he becomes demoralized. Yuck! Righto. So that is the second activation for the Japanese. We go up to an activation for the Americans. Now we could bring some fire on there with the machine gun, but it's going to be reduced so much. Is it? They're going to lose 1 for long range, but they gain 1 for this by being out there like that. So they would be 12, which would be the 11. Just think about this. Think about it. Think about it. Think about it. It'd be -1 for long range. It'd be +1. So it'd be only on the 11. I don't think it's worth it. We're going to dig in. So they're digging in. That's their second activation. Back to the Japanese. So the commander is going to activate this stack and this guy. Sorry, they're activating. This is their 1, 2, 3, third activation. So nobody can shoot or anything else, which is good. So machine gun moves up 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2 are there. So these guys are done. This guy is done. This guy is going to try and move up here, like that. Bottom. Now he's moved up onto the track, so I don't think he has to worry about a mired or anything else. Or does he? Is he still going through? Yeah, he probably needs it. 3 or less. He's fine. So he is done as well. Oops. Right. These guys are now spotted. These guys are spotted as well. So that's the third activation for Japan. The third activation for the Americans, and we'll complete digging in. And then the Japanese have got nothing to do, so they pass. But the Americans want to do another activation, so we need a fog of war roll. Nothing happens. So this guy is going to activate to try and recover. So he is reduced, which is a 6, a 5, so he needs a 4 or less. 7, no go, so he's got to pull back. Now, these guys have already activated, but they're going to get a shot at him. So he pulls back to here. That's for 1. Oh no, there's still somebody in there, so no, we don't have to worry about that, sorry. So he pulls back there for 1, for 2, for... Oh no, so he's in the assault hex here. He pulls back to here for 2. He can't go any further. And that's that. It's the 4th them. Japanese got nothing to do. So the Americans roll for fog of war again. Nothing happening. So this guy is going to try and recover. So again, the 6, a 5, so he needs a 4 or less. He gets it. Not real great, but at least they don't get a free shot at him for nothing. Japanese have got nothing to do. Americans don't want to do anything, so I don't need to do a fog of war roll because nobody's going to do anything, and we move it up to the 10:30 turn. Right, so we can clear the markers, and for the 10:30 turn, we can roll up for the cruiser guns before we finish. We've got a 1. A 1 for the 10:30 turn is 1905, which is, I believe, right on the village. Get out of the way. So, yeah, it's just as well they moved out of there, or else they would have been hit for 30. So, some things do go good at times. Righto, so we'll do our check to make sure we're right. We've got no losses there. We've got no losses there. We've got 1 there. And we've got 1 in Salt Hex. Salt Zone 1 is 2. And in the graveyard is 3. So yeah, American initiative is down to 1. Japanese have lost 2 steps there. They've got 1 step loss in Assault Zone 1 is 3. And they've got 1 here is 4. So yeah, they've lost 4 steps, so their morale is down to 4. And that's it. So when we come back, it'll be time for the 10:30 turn. So again, thanks very much, and take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.